Thank you very much, man. It's an honor to be here at the whitest guild, the Writers Guild Award. Seriously, guys, BlacKkKlansman was like the blackest movie that came out last year. Blacker even than Black Panther, and you chose the whitest guy in the movie. Way to represent Writers Guild. Anyhow, tonight it is my pleasure to present to Joan Meyerson the Morgan Cox Award, which honors the Writers Guild of America West member whose vital ideals, continuing efforts, and personal sacrifice best exemplify the ideal of service to the Guild. Now, I had the pleasure of working with Joan back in the early aughts on both the board of directors and on the negotiating committee, and I have to tell you guys, I was immediately impressed with Joan because she is one of those people that just completely embodies the meaning of service. And let me give you an idea of what my idea of service was, which I believe is kind of typical, a typical writer's idea of service. So how many times do we have to meet? Right? Right? And number two, do they serve food at those meetings? Right? Am I right? That was my idea of service. Now, let me give you Joan's idea. So in addition to serving, on the Writers Guild Board of Directors, she also served on the 2004 Negotiating Committee and numerous Guild committees over the years, including Board Nominating, East-West Study, Informational Films, Membership and Finance, New Media, Nonfiction Writers Working Group, Nonfiction Writers Caucus Steering, Officers Nominating, Organizing, PBS Negotiating, Podcast Advisory. I didn't even know they had a Podcast Advisory Committee. Strike Fund, Television Writers Council, Waiver, Web Editorial Board, Women Writers, as well as serving as a picket team captain during the 1981 Writers Guild strike. Now that's service, bitches. Come on. That is service. It is a rare thing when someone so dedicated to their career finds the time to give of herself so fully as Joan has, and she has had a stellar award-winning career as well. And so for her selfless commitment to the Writers Guild and the protection of its members, I am honored to present the Morgan Cox Award to my friend, Joan Meyerson.
I'm up here after waiting all this time. I think we'd all deserve awards for not being the first. Thank you. Okay. Well, it is such an honor to be up here, and there are so many thanks to give for this award. But first, to Larry for presenting me this award. To me, it's an honor to have him do this. I love being on the board with you, Larry, and I love even more that he co-created the series Insecure, which proves beyond a doubt that he understands women. Forgive me. So yes, I served on our board of directors a total of 10 years. And to all of my fellow board members and the current board and former Morgan Cox awardees who voted for me, thank you for this great honor. And I have to give a special shout out to those I served with under our fearless former president, Patric Verrone, and executive director, David Young, because you guys saw us through some tumultuous times with your vision for a stronger union, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So I also want to thank my husband, Mark Meyerson, for his constant support. Don't clap yet, because especially his support when, as an attorney at 20th Century Fox, he cheered me on as I walked the Pico picket line. He was out. So that's some dedication. We writers are the lucky ones. We do what we love, and we have a guild that protects and fights for us. So why do we need to volunteer? Well, okay, for me, it started in this very room. It looked a little different. It was 1973. I was very young. And I went to my first meeting here, and Mel Brooks is rallying the troops. And those troops, that included me. So I was hooked and on my first picket line. Then when basic cable producers went non-guild for documentary writers, I went to a committee meeting. Some small minor thing needed doing. I don't even remember what it was, but nobody was volunteering. So what the hell? I raised my hand, and that was it. So all of a sudden I was chair, and then I was nominated for the board. I wasn't a big-time TV or screenwriter, but more well-known candidates approached me because guess what? They wanted a woman to run with. Thank you, Jill Reisman. Okay, through 5 terms, I never saw the job as work, but as an opportunity to protect the benefits we had, what others had sacrificed for, and then pay it forward. It was a privilege to work with the guys and our minority contingent of women, and now it's an even greater privilege to support board candidates of every gender, color, and ethnicity, and to work, as David Goodman says, for a board that reflects all of us. Times have changed. We have a dedicated staff, but it's every member, young, old, current, post-current, who we need to unite us together. I'm inspired by committee volunteers like those in the Committee of Black Writers, the Women's Committee, the Latino, LGBTQ, and career longevity writers, and so many more. Because it's really a win-win with the committee members. They gain fellowship and support, and they give back to us our unity and our strength. Which brings me to Morgan Cox, because who was he anyway? No one seemed to know who this guy was. Well, I did documentary writer, I did some research. And in the 50s, it turns out, Morgan Cox, a volunteer, was instrumental in bringing TV writers into what was then only the Screenwriters Guild. And together, that became the Writers Guild that we have tonight. So, because Morgan knew that for writers to have power, it meant getting all of them into the Guild. In his obituary, it was said, his lusty roar made the metro lion appear a mewing kitten. He was my kind of guy. Because sometimes you just have to raise your hand and shout out the truth. Thank you very much.